Good afternoon and welcome to today's Buoy 10 update. Today is Saturday, August 26th, and the bite wasn't bad. In fact, it was actually pretty good, but what was nice about today was that it was sustained. The bite continued not just for a couple hours. It definitely slowed down. There were some high spots right at the tide change this morning, but it never really slowed down to a standstill. We caught fish throughout the entire outgoing tide, which is nice, finally. And I was very happy with that. So we had 6 people today, and we ended up getting all 6 of our Chinook, and even got a coho, released another coho. And at that point, the folks were real happy, so they said, hey, let's just go ahead and head in, go grab lunch. I'm okay with that. After grinding out so hard here the last few days, very happy with that. The fact that the clients were happy and we're able to get into a bunch of fish, so nice. And the fish are actually starting to stage up in areas that we should and have seen them in years past. So usually what happens on the high slack is above the bridge, Oregon or Washington side, you're going to find fish. And then as the tide starts flushing out, you just tend to follow them down. It starts getting a little bit faster current on the Oregon side. Folks jump over to Washington, a little bit less current, can stay on top of those fish a little bit easier. Today we stayed out here on the Oregon side for most of the morning, and even when it was rushing out at 5 miles an hour, we were still catching fish suspended in the deep water. And then once it started getting about 5.5, 6 miles an hour, I jumped over to the Washington side and pretty much just put in at the bridge and floated all the way on down to about checkerboard Chinook. And it wasn't a hot bite by any means. It was just kind of one here, one there. Every 45 minutes, hour, we get bit and hook up into a fish, and we just scratched them out. It was really nice. Today we got bit best on chartreuse flashers with anchovies. I tried herring for a little bit, didn't really go. Garlic inside the gill plate for the anchovies was still working. I put a spinner out my starboard stern, my little hot corner back there, and it had 3 bites today and got 1 fish, and it was the size 6 or 5.5, 5.5 mulkey with it's called like the Mexican hat, Mexican flag, where it's brass blade and then red and chartreuse green tip, and that one had a couple bites, so that was good to see. Now I started out by putting garlic on that spinner, and it never really got bit, so I actually ended up switching over to the addicted salmon blend, put that on the tubing. Again, you do not put scent onto your beads or onto your blade. It affects the action if it's on the blade. It'll discolor your beads if it's on that. So you just put it on the tubing, put it on the hooks. That super gel worked out really well against the addicted salmon blend, and that one was the one that ended up getting bit and getting our biggest fish of the day. So I've been getting a lot of questions about the boat and just getting a quick tour, so I'll do that here right now. So basically that's our update for today. We should get a lot more fish, continue to push in. The tides are still getting less and less. Tomorrow should be a good day. Monday and Tuesday should be a good day. Shameless plug, I got a couple seats open for Tuesday left, so if you want to come down and fish, got a couple seats open then, and I believe on possibly September 3rd. Don't hold me to that though, I haven't looked at my schedule book, but I know Tuesday for sure there's a couple seats. So boat, I just got this brand new boat here in March, and it is the Aluminum Pacific. It's a 27-foot hull, 30-foot overall. On the back I have twin 115s, and I get a lot of questions here. The 115 is strong enough to push your boat. I can get up on plane with just one motor, and with both motors I'm going about 45 miles an hour, which honestly it's plenty. I don't need to go any faster. I got friends with bass boats if I want to go 50, 60, 70 miles an hour. So 45 is plenty, especially in this chop. And what's been nice about this boat, frankly, is that when that wind chop does come up here, which you can kind of tell it's wanting to start coming up, I'm able to just chop right through it, no big deal, and power through that wind chop, that 3-4 foot wind chop, because the boat is long enough, has a steep enough entry, so I can just power through, get up on top, and just keep chopping through them. Okay, let's go to the helm here right now, see if I can get the camera to work. So here's my office right here. Started out with a HDS Carbon 12 Lowrance. And on this one, what I always do anytime I'm trolling up here is I have my GPS rolling on the left screen, sonar on the right, and then down below I have my side scan, so my structure scan looking left and right. So again, I got my GPS over here. I have my fish finder over here, and this all right here is bait. Maybe a couple of fish diving through it right there, but that's all anchovy right in there. Let me get the camera right. Yep, that's all anchovy right in there. A couple of fish maybe above or below it. Then I always have my GPS rolling. And then down on my second screen, sun glare might be a bit much. On my structure scan here, I'm looking left and right. So this is the right side of the boat, this is the left side. And you can see there's lots of scattered bait in here. All anchovy again. So anytime I'm trolling, those are the three screens that I have up just so I can get as much detailed data as possible to make a decision on where this fish might end up being. I also have my autopilot built in there, and I have that instead of a TR1 because I have all of the motors with a tie rod in between them. That way I can just stay right here at the helm and use the power steering to control the boat the whole time while we're out here on the water. So that is my helm, obviously VHF, got my compass, some ports for charging cell phones and batteries and whatnot. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Oh, actually this is kind of cool, the throttle control. I really didn't want to have a bunch of handles going on my helm, especially stuff on the side, just because I wanted it to be a little bit less cumbersome, a little bit cleaner. And I was able to find a Mercury Racing control that has 3 different shifters. So I have on here my port and starboard main motors, and then I have my kicker shift, and then my throttles, port, starboard, main, and then my kicker throttle right there. So I have everything in just one nice little spot. Then on the other side over here, I have another screen that I've actually turned off. So that way my clients, when they're asking me, hey, what are you seeing? They can just be sitting in their seats, look at the screen and see exactly what I'm seeing, so that way they know what I'm looking at. In fact, it worked out today too, where we were doing a little bit of video game fishing, where like, hey, there's a fish at 35 feet and the 35 rod gets slammed. So that's pretty nice, pretty fun to do. The seats are all air ride. Hop up and down in them. There's a smooth move seats. And then the chairs themselves are the Bentleys, and they have that ballistic nylon in them, which has been really nice, easy to clean, super easy to clean, which at the end of the day when you're tired, that's pretty nice option to have. Stereo system, of course, for while I'm cleaning the boat. I'm trying to think what else. Oh, this might be a little bit weird, but one of my favorite options, trash can. Built-in trash can, so that way the customers can just throw all their trash right there in one spot. It's pretty nice. Other than that, it's just basic storage and bow roller for the anchor when we are anchoring. And gosh, that's really about it. So I've been getting probably about 5 or 6 questions a day, people asking about how the boat's all set up and how it's all working. So I figured I'd just give that a quick one through. And oh, fish bleeding. So I got my bleed box. Every time we catch a fish, I keep it here in the back of the boat, get them into the back here. Bleed them up there in the bleed box, and then once I'm done bleeding them and they're all cleaned up, I put them into my Wilderness Pack kill bag back here in the back. And that's been holding ice really well, just 2 bags of ice, and that's been good enough for the fish throughout the day, especially on a nice, beautiful day like this. And today is really, really nice. So that's a quick run through on the boat. And rod lockers, Sabiki rigs. Oh, I should show you guys. There's enough anchovies right here. So you guys see this here? Lots and lots of anchovy, and they're all down about 30, 40 feet. So fresh bait is always the best bait. Let's see if I can make this happen here. Okay. So I have a Sabiki rod, and this Sabiki rod right here, see if I can hold it up. All the line goes through the rod itself. You can kind of see it goes through the middle, then out through the tip right there. And then on the end of it, a little bit tough holding everything here. On the end here, I don't know if you guys can see that. Yeah, there's some little flies right there. All these little tiny hooks. Those little tiny hooks are designed to catch the anchovy. So I'm going to look at my screen, and the reel that I have on here is a line counter. Okay, they're down about 40 feet. Let's see what happens here. So fresh bait is always the best bait. Looking at my line counter, about 40 feet. About right. Yeah, 30 feet, 40 feet. There you go. I can start to feel them biting a little bit. Okay, now I'm going to reel it up if I can. We'll see if I can make this work. Bringing it up. And there we go. Fresh bait is always the best bait. So I always keep the Sabiki rod with me in the boat at all times, just because you can't beat fresh bait. I know the bait that we get is usually just a day old, but it's nice having the Sabiki rod in the boat at all times. Plus, it's fun for the customers, a little bit of a lull in the day, gives them something to do, and it's pretty cool to watch everyone do it, especially kids. So grab a Sabiki rod, have that in the boat too, and that'll help you. Okay, this update's long enough. Time to go back, clean the boat, get ready for tomorrow. Later, guys.